So the big question is this: how are marketers like us, who don't cut corners and rely on hype-filled, black hat, scammy marketing, who are always focused on providing value first and over-delivering for our customers with every single purchase they make, how do we market our products and services in a way that allows us to get our message out into the world, dominate the competition, and create a lifestyle of freedom and abundance without sacrificing sales and profit? That's the riddle, and on this show, you'll find the answer. Hey, my name's Misha Wilson, and welcome to Marketing with Misha.
What is going on, everyone? Misha Wilson here, coming at you for another episode of Marketing with Misha. Let me know what your name is and where you are coming in from. Let me double check that I am indeed live in the correct location. And we'll go ahead and go from there. Let me know what your name is and where you're coming in from. Give me a quick yes as you hop on here with me. And let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Coming at you from my dad's house here on the beautiful island of Maui, Hawaii, for another lesson that I want to share with you. One of the lessons learned the hard way, kind of a mistake that I've made in the past that you can avoid to make more profit, scale your business, lose less money, and have a whole lot more fun along the way. So let me know what your name is and where you are coming in from as you hop on here with me. If you get value out of this Facebook Live, as always, be sure to go ahead and share. If I get the correct number of shares to actual views, I'll be sure to do more Facebook Lives just like this one. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive in. I see I have a few people on here with me. And today I want to talk about one of the most important lessons from in actual marketing in the trenches, setting up campaigns, running campaigns, creating new offers, running new funnels, setting up new funnels from that perspective. And then also from a 30,000 foot view business perspective as well. So whether or not you have employees, have team members, have your own corporate structure, or whether or not you're a single man show, you're in the trenches doing everything yourself, running all the ad campaigns, etc. yourself, this will absolutely be for you. So, one of the things that we get stuck, or kind of like one of the things that we're taught when we first get started, I'll start here, is that, one of the number one most important things in marketing is being able to look at numbers, know your weak points, know all the different data points that come in through your actual sales funnel, through your ad campaigns, how your ad campaign click-through rates are, conversion rates are on your capture page, click-through rates over your sales page. We're taught to really know our numbers, right? And at least for me, I lived by, knowing your numbers. I needed numbers and I needed data for everything when I was first getting started, and at least when I got in the habit of it. And it became something that I could not make a decision without. I could not make a decision without seeing the numbers. I would not change anything on my capture page. I wouldn't change, a word here and a word there. I wouldn't change the design. I wouldn't change the layout. I would spend hours, analyzing data, looking at data, which I still do to this day. And it's the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do. And if you're not doing it, you're not really marketing, because you need to be making decisions based on data, based on analytics. And those are really the only times you should adjust: when you have either something that totally doesn't work, obviously, or when you have data and analytics that's telling you to adjust. And again, we're taught from day number one to focus on the numbers, all right? What you'll find is as you grow your business and as you start to see success and as you hit six figures, and then as you hit six figures in a month, and then as you hit, multiple six figures in a month, then you start to hit $500,000 in a month. And then you're hiring people, and then you have teammates, and you have, people that are working. I don't like saying working for you, but working with you, all right? I have teammates, we're a team. You have different divisions of your actual company. You have stuff you're managing. You have, different roles and responsibilities for this person and that person. And you're looking at whether or not people are doing that, correctly, and they're focusing correctly. And again, you might not be able to identify with this yet, but still I'm going to make this relevant to you in your actual journey. What tends to happen is you can take your eye off the ball with the numbers, all right? You can take your eye off the ball when it comes to the very basic conversion data, metrics that you need to have in order to make the right marketing decisions. You can take your eye off the ball when it comes to, your overall profitability of the company. Revenue, profit, cash flow, three very different things. Sometimes your revenue looks really good and you forget to look at your bottom line on a, monthly, weekly, daily basis, and all of a sudden your revenue is really good, but your profits terrible because you just hired on more people and you spent more on ads, and those ads aren't, performing well. So even though you're profitable somewhere in your business, you're losing money somewhere else in your business, and all the money you could be making is being canceled out by this money you're losing, but you're just focused on revenue, and so you're actually not seeing nearly as much profit as you could. All right, these are all different circumstances that I've got myself in. These are all different issues that I've faced. And actually, real quick story, back when we were really taking off and, we hadn't had the team set up correctly. We didn't have the team set up correctly at that point in time. We had literally probably a few people working, between customer support. Jason was, grinding away in the back end when it comes to operations. Dan was kind of around, but not around as much as he is now. And we took off. And give me some comments, likes, hearts, shares. Give me a quick 2 in the comments box below if you guys are getting value. But we took off and we started to see massive momentum. And a bunch of people hopped on board and started promoting. And we had our own ads running. And we were spending a bunch of money on traffic. And we had a bunch of affiliates promoting. And everything was going really well. And we were scaling from, $100,000 a month to $200,000 a month to $500,000 a month. And kept going from there, and everything was going really well. Profitability was really good because we only had literally a handful, if that, of people working for the actual company. So profitability wasn't an issue. Every single month, every single day I'd look and the bank account would be growing. And again, all of that was fine. But what I got sucked into in that moment of time was taking my eye off the ball when it comes to the actual revenue, the cash flow, the profitability of the company, how productively we were converting that revenue and profit into actual cash. And literally at one point in time, we had a spike in chargebacks. We had a spike in having a few bad customers come through the front doors. Chargebacks spiked. I didn't realize that chargebacks had spiked. What a merchant account does when chargebacks spike is they say, hey, we're not sure if you're actually a legit company, essentially. So we're gonna keep a lot of your money until you go ahead and lower the chargebacks. And so at that point in time, we had 100% of all of our money being sent to us every single day. So if we did 10,000 in revenue for the day, we'd have 10,000 hit our bank account minus 3%, the merchant fee, hit our bank account that night, right? So all of our money every single day. And without telling us, without notifying us, it should be robbery, and without disclosing to us what they were gonna do, our merchant account said, hey, we're gonna keep a 20% rolling reserve that you're not gonna be able to get your hands on for the next 6 months at least until the last chargeback happens. So if you have a chargeback a year from now, you're gonna get your money a year and 6 months from now, right? And because I was so focused on revenue, and because I wasn't looking at the overall health of the company, the profitability of the company, because I wasn't looking at how effectively we were converting our revenue into profit, etc., we ended up having essentially $250,000 go into a merchant reserve. And it happened very, very, very quickly because again, revenue's flying everywhere. $250,000 is a lot of money, but when you have a bunch of money flying around everywhere, it can be one of those things where $250,000 can go really quickly into a merchant reserve. And we had it go there without me almost even realizing it, right? Essentially went through this period of time where I remember looking and I was kind of like, where's the money going? I don't see the bills. I don't see the expenses. I didn't have my, I wasn't on it, just to be totally honest, when it comes to the exact numbers. And because of that, our merchant account had been taking, 20% of all of our money, putting it into merchant reserve, didn't tell us. And I actually didn't find out until we hired a financial controller, someone to, look through all the books, look through all of everything that was going on, see exactly where the money was, and point out to us, well, this merchant account hasn't been batching out this money to you for the last, 5-6 months. And, talking about it now, it's somewhat embarrassing. But once again, this is lessons learned the hard way. This is not, for me to look super smart. This is for you to see mistakes that I've made in the past. And the truth is that you might be in a space right now where you're saying, you can never relate to, not having your eye on $250,000. And when I say it, I sound dumb. So I understand it, but also understand when a bunch of stuff is flying around all the time, you can miss out on things, right? And this can happen at every level. And so for you, what happened for me at that point is we had a bunch of cash, a bunch of revenue, a bunch of profit flying around everywhere, and I took my eye off the ball, and a percentage of that was going somewhere that I didn't have any control over. I won't see that money for a long time because that merchant account's still fine. But again, 6 months from our last chargeback, I'll see it. So if I process with that merchant account for 10 years, I'm literally not going to see that money for 10 years and 6 months, right? And again, if I would have had my eye on the ball, I could have seen it sooner. I could have talked to the people at the merchant account sooner. I could have got them to drop it from 20 to 10. I could have told them why we had the actual chargebacks. If you'll just communicate with your actual merchant providers, they're much more likely to kind of help you out and help you, work through whatever issue you're dealing with. But because there wasn't the eye on the detail, because there wasn't the eye on the numbers, and because I wasn't focusing on the numbers, I totally spaced it, and it cost me cash flow, all right? And cash flow, when you're first starting a business, is the most important thing, all right? Revenue, profit, yes, but cash is king. You need to keep your eye on the ball when it comes to cash, and the only way you go out of a business is if you run out of cash. And so if you have unlimited cash all the time, and you can constantly have more cash flow than your bills and your expenses, etc., you can always continue to grow. All right. Now, what will happen for you is, look, you might not find yourself in that situation, but you might find yourself in a situation where you're starting to scale out your ad campaigns. You're going to start to scale out. You want to test another funnel, and you want to test another funnel with a few different traffic providers. You want to test a different image on a different, let's say Facebook ad with a different funnel. And you want to have a bunch of variations going at one time so you can start to scale out and go bigger, right? That's the minute that you're most likely to start missing the small things. That's the minute that you're most likely to start losing money because you're taking your eye off of the small details. And that's the minute that your risk starts to increase when it comes to you having more stuff you have to look at and still the same 2 sets of eyes, right? And the lesson here is very simply, look, when you have a bunch of stuff going on, no matter how much stuff you have going on, no matter how many team members you have, no matter how many sales funnels you have, no matter how many traffic campaigns you have running, no matter how big or small your company is, you need to keep your eye on the numbers. You need to keep your eye on your return on investment with your traffic campaigns. You need to keep your eye on the critical driver stats, so the inputs that equal the output, right? And you need to make sure that the inputs that equal the output is there. You also need to make sure the output is lining up correctly with the actual inputs. So in our case, we had a bunch of inputs. We had a bunch of action we were taking. We had a bunch of stuff we were doing, but the money wasn't coming through to our bank account. So the output, once again, wasn't correct in that actual circumstance. And again, if I would have had my eye on the ball more, I probably could have mitigated, a couple $100,000 of cash flow. And, we'd have that to work with, to leverage, to continue to, deploy elsewhere in the business, to try to do more cool stuff, grow faster, hire more cool people, support, our customers more, etc. And at the end of the day, we'd have more cash flow, which is always a healthier business. And again, these are all lessons that I've gotten through, and I still am blessed and fortunate to have an extremely profitable, healthy business and all that jazz. But at the end of the day, look, you can always look at it like you're untouchable, or you can always look at it like you're one mistake away from going out of business. And the truth of the matter is, much more than you being untouchable, you're much closer to being one mistake away from being out of business. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend just understand the minute you start to scale, the minute you start to grow, and the minute you start to get bigger, wider, go faster, all of those things, is the minute you have more risk, more potential to miss out on the small thing, more of a likelihood to have something slip through the cracks. And you need to be aware of that. And when that time comes, you need to double down, triple down, quadruple down on setting up the dashboards, the systems, whatever you need to be able to look at your numbers, know your numbers, identify weak spots, identify, campaigns that are, sucking you dry, for lack of a better term, and turn them off as quickly as humanly possible so that you can stay as profitable as humanly possible. And that's my message for you here today. Always focus on the numbers. Give me a quick 3 in the comments box below if you guys got value. As always, it's another beautiful day on the sunny island of Maui, Hawaii. I'm at my dad's house. I haven't worked up here in a while. I'll show you guys a quick little view of the ocean. It's another perfect day here. And this is, again, the laptop lifestyle that you can enjoy if you'll just put your mind to doing the work every day and following through with consistent action. That's my message for you here today. Give me some comments, likes, hearts, shares, etc. if you guys got value. And until next time, over and out.